ladies and gentlemen, really the final section of the podcast, really, is going under the skin of Carnage Funeral. This album will be out November 11th when I'm out of town. So basically, I'm going to have the upload ready to be made public on the YouTube channel, but I will not be making it public until the 11th for the sake of promoting the album the best way I see fit by people listening to the record. And then they're like, hey, what is this album about? And they can come and check out the Under the Skin session and really understand what's going on lyrically. That's what Under the Skin is. It's digging under the skin, opening up the leather hard book of this record. So, Fernando, were you the primary lyricist behind the Carnage Funeral record? Or who was the primary lyricist?
Alberto,
Alberto.
Ruben, and I wrote everything.
Okay, understood. Sweet. So Alberto, in that case, which I like that. It's a pleasant surprise. Usually, when people think of a band, they think that the vocalist would be the primary lyricist for the record. But by all means, let's change up the formula a little bit. Alberto, as we dive into and dig under the skin of Carnage Funeral, what would you say is a quick summary, a back of the book summary for this album, lyrically speaking?
I would say in this album change a little bit because I get more into the lyrics, little spacing here just to get into so people can understand that our first album was thematic, was Alberto's story, then was like the story behind his death, about his son and how he tried to give the 7 deadly sins into 7 child and raise them with those child, and this is why Septum Sigma Inferno. And we always like to do like thematic albums, having some context and not being like criticism, not being like I don't like this, I want to talk about this, I don't like politics, I don't like Christianity, I don't like no, we are not in that point. We like to tell stories, as you have seen in the videos and with everything. We just want people to get into an imaginary and imagine all the story we're telling is like a movie, but you're listening to it, and every song is a chapter.
Yes.
So this is Evil. Evil is it's an album that talks about different ways of conceiving the evil that surround us. It could be a guy that gets mad and shoots his family. It could be about aliens coming, like wormhole song. It could be about the Hound song that is about the leaving the dogs out from their cages.
Yes.
What the vengeance will be there. It will be about evil. That is like the full explanation and how you say it, how grotesque was the video, because it's evil, and that's the point. And Carnage Funeral for me, it's another step on evil, but it's about always telling a story about could be like I will talk for the 2 songs that we have released up to now. Carnage Funeral, one that gives a name to the album. It's for me it was a little mix about let's say Marvel movies. For example, I'm really fan of Marvel with Ruben, and the idea of ending with people just to make this the planet survey us is like, okay, we are the problem, so just erase someone there. But we were coming out from the pandemic, and at the same time was like, what about someone that gets mad being isolated in the pandemic with the COVID-19, and thinks that the only way he can help the world to improve, it's about the idea of ending with a human race, with the idea of it's not what I think, it's not what none of us thinks, it's just a story. It's about having the influence of the idea of Thanos, that I have to end with 50% of everything. Sorry for spoilers if someone hasn't seen Avengers Endgame. It's like in 2022. Sorry guys.
Yeah, seriously.
Percent out of everything so people can live well. So this is the same. There's the idea of someone that has been ill during the pandemic and has affected his mind about the idea of ending with everything so the world can keep on, and all mixed together. I know it works, and it gives me a story to tell.
Yes.
It's the same about Anthem Atrocity. The other song is um, if you take the lyrics and you read them, you're watching a film about Indiana Jones entering in a tombstone and trying to get something, a treasure from there. But it's not about that. It's about it's more about it's psychological thing about society, about how the political correct things that, no, it's not correct to say this, is more correct about to say this way, or it's about the things that our own society doesn't let us be as free the way on speech or to be as we would like to. And this is why at the end is I'm telling a story, but there's another background in the back. But I don't like to say like this is the way. No, it's just like I wanted to tell something and I want to tell you a story, but I don't want to be in a story that it's empty. I wanted
Yes.
to think about something. It's like you are gonna get your own lyric. It's like I'm telling you a story. Now is your turn to know, or to get the learnings from that song that you like. As for example, I work in some of the songs with Fernando. There's another ones. For me, one that is really special that you'll see in the album, but
Yes.
it's really important because it has a lot of iconography of the Catholic week in Spain, like in Easter,
Okay.
and influenced by a video game that is called Blasphemous, that is from a Spanish project group that designed the video game, and I beat the game in during the pandemic. That because I get ill, I was like for 4 days like I'm gonna play in my computer,
Yeah.
and that game has a really powerful imagery, and the songs from that video game is really hard. And at the same time, we have all of us, and I know for sure that most of the listeners of this program will know someone who has suffered a big depression,
Yes.
and for sure they know some friend or something, and behind that lyric that is like really powerful in the images that it creates, like the you will see, but it's like the empty tree in the middle of the nothingness,
Yes.
and from God that comes raises the grass. And for me, after all that song, that's a positive meaning of how to come out from depression,
Yes.
how to go out from, because I've seen it not in myself, in someone around me,
Yes.
and I how they went out. And I'm just trying to I'm not telling you how to do it. It's just like
Yeah.
I have a story and I have a way to tell you something that I live. There's another song that could work about that is something is more common for you in the States, to talk about it, about the arm industry, about the problematics that could have all the arm industry in the
Right.
States, and it's more problematic than here in Spain.
Yes.
But there's another song that could talk about this, but doesn't tell you like, hey, this is wrong. This is no, I'm telling you a story
This
related
is
with that topic.
yeah, offering a perspective.
And another one that for me is really important is from an uncle that I lost last year. I don't know what was the cause. He just died with being less than 50 years old. But the thing is that it was in his young age. He was
Yes.
more into drugs, into things. I'm not the one to say like, hey, guys, don't do drugs.
Right.
I joints with all these guys, and I've been all this time drinking a beer. So,
Yeah.
but the thing is, be conscious about what you're doing to your body, and if you do it and you know what you're doing, then let's go for it. But please think that in the future, everything has a response.
Yes. Everything has a
For me,
consequence.
I've seen someone that has gone out of that was redoing his life,
Yes.
and from nowhere he just disappeared. I don't know. There are so many things that could inspire you. There are so many things that could be around. Some things that you may want to say. Some things that you may don't want to say. But the thing is, like, if you have a story to tell, and someone wants to try to imagine that story, to being there, to get into the lyrics and say like,
Yeah.
okay, the world that you're creating for me is like, okay, I come to see the new Marvel movie, so please give me something that I will appreciate. this is what we try, and this is why I could bring the first idea for this album for the lyrics, because in the last albums it has been Alex and Ruben with Fernando doing it, and I wasn't that much into lyrics. I think
Yes.
this was the one that I really get into it.
Which that's
But
really cool. Yeah.
at the same time, I just give them the lyrics like, hey guys, I have this idea. I try to tell this. This is what I came for. This is what I bring you. So please, guys, add what you want. If you don't understand something, we can change it,
Yes.
and let's work it all together, because that's the way we work. It's like we don't impose
As a
things.
team.
Yeah, and this is why at the end, I think it works. I hope people likes the stories that we tell, because that's what we want people to
Yes.
understand, that all those stories that we're creating in our minds, in our music, in our videos, and in our merchandise, if you want.
Yeah.
But at the end, so what it's under the skin of Carnage Funeral. Um, it's a movie. It's a movie made music, and it's a really powerful one.
Yes.
It's a lyrical one. It's like the Avengers, but if they were fighting with demons.
Hmm.
Uh, it's epic. It's powerful. It's dark. It's fast.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm really proud of what we've created. I know people would like more this album, or the last one, or the I still love Cannibal Grandpa Fierce Terra. Okay, I like it too. The thing is, like, let's give it a try. Give it a try. See if you
Yeah,
like it.
give it a chance, man.
I know. Just try to think on all the story that is behind this. Not only
Right.
about the listening to slams in 8-string guitars. Okay, no,
Yeah.
there's more. So, if those people want to try to see what it's in the back, there's here's in here a big explanation. If not, if you catch up as live playing or something, we are always with our with the audience in there. We like to chat with everyone. So if
Yes.
someone wants to ask for something like, hey man, I'm really into this song, I would love to know something.
Yes.
Just come, tell us, ask. If and if we don't go to your country or to your city, not yet.
Not
but,
yet.
yeah, if you want to ask, we are behind our socials.
Yes.
So write us down. We'll be there. We don't can promise that we are responding in 1 hour, but for sure we will read you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's under the skin of Carnage Funeral.
Right. And more or less, I appreciate the commentary that you have provided so far. And currently, like on Indie Merch, they have the pre-orders up, ladies and gentlemen. It's a really, really awesome merch spread through Unique Leader Records and Indie Merch. Be sure to go check it out. Grab a couple items, because I know I'm going to be grabbing a couple items, especially because of this opportunity, and not to be that person. But seriously, it's cool to talk to a band all the way over in Spain, and now more specifically for more than 2 hours, which is crazy. And again, I do appreciate you guys' patience, being willing to hang out, all that. Specifically with Under the Skin, though, at this moment in time, we are only really aware of 2 tracks. So we have 2 tracks specifically covered. So more or less the Under the Skin formula, I would be asking if you, Alberto, would be willing to disclose the names of the other tracks in the track listing per se, and then if you would be willing to disclose the lyrical context of those tracks as we talk about, just, even if it's a small summary, because you already mentioned some stuff, and we can edit all that out if need be. But if you'd be willing, would you be willing to kind of check off every single one of the tracks in the record, and just basically like little short summaries of all of those tracks? Would you be willing to do that, or would you rather us?
I could try. I'll try to be as fast as I can.
Right, no problem. Sorry.
A little late, but yeah. The thing is that Carnage Funeral and Ancient Atrocity, I've talked about them. They're reckoning. I would highly recommend everyone go to see The Northman, the film that wasn't released.
Oh yes, I need to see that so bad.
The Reckoning, it's something that inspired me, that film. You will see it's about vengeance, it's about the wrath, it's about the story that comes behind. Has a lot to be. So first watch the film, then listen to the song, read the lyrics. You will understand almost everything. Third, I cannot tell you right now, basically because I remember really good the lyrics. uh, but yeah, it has to be more. I know Pillars of Tragedy has to be about all the arm industry that I told you.
Yes.
More Desecrator is one of the ones that Fernando helped the most and did almost everything. But it's if I if I don't remember, it's bad is more about into is that song especially is one that comes apart because it's more about how to create lyrics for the music that we are listening to, because it's a song that it, as the name says, is it has to be like zombie culture industry, and it has about what about if I'm here in the morgue working in here and then the body starts racing and chasing me, and you the idea is that you can take out the lyrics, only listen to the song and try to and get into that film. It's like, okay,
Yes.
you can try to get in, imagine you getting there and just opening the wardrobes and say that there's no bodies in here where they are, and
Where
look
they
into
are,
that.
yeah.
How
there
it,
is a film,
yeah,
There's
so
actually a film
yeah,
talking about
that
it.
I used to inspire for that song. It's like in Spanish, it's Cadaver's Corpse. I don't know if in English is the same. It's
Right.
not literally translate. I'm sorry, I don't know it,
You're good.
but it's like for that in a morgue that a girl that is working there and a corpse start moving, and I try to put on the position of the corpse that I start moving. I woke up on the morgue, and that's one of the sentences of the song.
Yes.
Uh,
yeah, so that more Desecrator has special way to of treating it because it's more about well, it's kind of like the reckoning. It's like, okay, we watch something that we liked,
Yes.
and now we create a film or about that film, but our film is not visual, it's a musical one.
Right.
The Red Wake is the one that I was telling you about, the idea of getting out of um, a depression.
Yes. Okay.
That has really powerful lyrics for me. Then Horror Disorder, the eighth track of the album, that's a really interesting one because it's more about the nightmares. It's more about the limits of on our brain and in our imaginary. And what I found really interesting is like musically, that song is the craziest for me
Hmm.
because it's like really an horror disorder, that song, and that's the idea, and we created like that. It's like it's not like an exercise of creating something that doesn't sound correct.
Yes.
It's like everything's like uh doesn't that sound out of place or it doesn't work in
Yeah.
here, but all
It's
the songs
strange.
sound like that. So yeah, so it's an exercise, it's a composing exercise, and the lyrics goes with it. And at the end, it's a really cool song, and I really like it. And the end of the song is like really fucking epic
Sweet.
of the disorder. So I hope everyone likes it because it's like really powerful and shaky, and it's groovy. So
Yeah.
it's a
Sick.
really cool song. And Bereavement is the one that talks about the abuse of drugs, and I don't know. It's an introduction album to get into the lyrics and
Yes.
just try to see what it wakes you up inside.
Right. Exactly. It sobers you up.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. It's an album just to listen, to enjoy, and to
Yes.
try to get into a film by yourself.
Sweet.
That's
Awesome. And I do appreciate that. I was like, are they not allowed to talk about the album for a second? But I am so glad that you ended up kind of making a quick summary of Carnage Funeral, because it provides even more context to what is going to be a phenomenal death metal record, a tech death metal record, coming out November 11th via Unique Leader Records, the same house, the same home as our buddies in the Breathing Process, To the Grave, Worm Shepherd, Awaken Providence now, which is super cool, and we hope to be interviewing them here pretty soon, and plenty of others, people.